Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm not going to speak about the topic at hand. Sheikh Mikhail Smith is the quote-unquote expert of this topic, but I will share a few thoughts that have been running through my mind all day today. One of Sheikh Mikhail Smith's teacher, Dr. Ismail Memon Madani, passed away this morning. I found out about it in the morning. I went right away to visit him at the house. And you know, it's a different experience when you walk into a room when there's a person. And we went there? Yeah, I went in the morning. We'll go tomorrow together. So when I went in the morning and there's people sitting there, and there's a person who has just passed away a few hours ago, right? And you know that Malak al-Maut walked through, he came through those doors and he was just there. And the body, the face had so much nur and so much blessing. So there are many people that have a huge impact in our lives, but nobody knows who they are. We see their results, we see their products. They're like that first stone at the bottom of the building. People appreciate the auditorium, the banquet hall, all the different amazing, the cafe, but no one really sees and appreciates that first stone that went down in the building of the building. These people, like Dr. Ismail Saab, I remember as an 8-year-old going to Buffalo and him embracing us, me and my brother, loving us so much. And these people of Allah have this amazing quality of seeing through a person and inspiring them and encouraging them to go to the next level. And their greatest generosity is that one of the elders say that the only person in the world that wants you to be better than them is your father. He genuinely wants you to be better than him. Like, he's the only one. He will say, I want you to look better than me. I want you to play basketball better than me. I want you to read better than me. Genuinely the only person in the world. But then there are those special individuals who are teachers who actually want you to be better than them. And they push you towards that. So, and then you move on in your life and they stay back. I remember I went back to Buffalo after many years. I was sleeping in the car. And my brother went inside to meet him. And right when my brother walked in, even though I was a little kid studying there, right when my brother walked in, he said, Abdullah, where's Abdul Rahman? How do you remember an 8-year-old kid who only studied there for 3-4 months? So I just wanted to share a few things about this with all of us, that first of all, we should make dua for him and appreciate his work. We're sitting here benefiting from his students, in a sense. I'm not the most worthy person of speaking about him. There are many people who can speak about him and talk about his life. But I will say, when I saw him, Sheikh Mikhail, when I saw him, you know what I thought of? I thought of the Wasf al-Zahid by Ibn Sammak. So Dawood Ta'i was a great man. He was a quiet person, nobody really knew him. And in our religion, tamaduh is impermissible. Tamaduh means over-exaggeration and praise. So you say, oh, you're amazing, this, that. But when it's allowed is when the person leaves this world. And then we learn about their life as soon as they leave this world. And a lot of people, like, eulogies, a lot of people, great scholars, would do that as soon as the soul will leave the body, and they will speak to the body and talk to the person. And through that, it was a poetic way of sharing their qualities with the world. So as soon as I sat in their room and I saw him laying there with, just a white cloth over him, and his son was sitting there, his kids, his other grandchildren, other people, I thought of that. And what did he say to him? He says, and I'm going to change the word. He said, Ya Sheikh, ma a'jaba sha'nuk. How amazing were you? ألزمت نفسك الصمت حتى قومتها على العدل وأهنتها وإنما تريد كرامتها وأذللتها وإنما تريد إعزازها ووضعتها وإنما تريد تشريفها وأتعبتها وإنما تريد راحتها وواجعتها وإنما تريد شبعها وأظمأتها وإنما تريد لينه وأمتها قبل أن تموت وعذبتها قبل أن تعذب وقبرتها قبل أن تقبر وجشنت الملبس وإنما تريد طيبه. He says, وَغِبْتَ عَنِ النَّاسِ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا إِلَى الْآخِرَةِ وَمَا أَظُنُّكَ إِلَّا قَدْ لَحِقْتَ بِالْمَاضِينِ وَفُضِّلْتَ بِالْآخِرِينَ. SubhanAllah. He looks at him and he says, first of all, this is how you make effort on yourself. This is the process of effort. أَلْزَمْتَ نَفْسَكَ صَمْتَ. You made yourself stay quiet until you made yourself upright. You made yourself, you want to become upright? Learn how to stay quiet. Learn how not to react. Learn how not to say something even though you can say it. Even though you can say it. ألزمت نفسك الصمت حتى قومتها على العدل وأهنتها وإنما تريد كرامتها. You humiliated yourself. You disgraced yourself within yourself. You know, like I mentioned last week, كن عند الله خير الناس وكن عند نفسك شر الناس وكن مع الناس رجلا من الناس. This is the statement of Ali bin Abi Talib anhu. He says, talk to Allah like you're the best person walking on the face of the earth. Oh Allah, it's me. I love you, even though I commit sins. When you look at yourself in the mirror, consider yourself the worst person walking on the face of the earth. And when you're with the people, consider yourself an average person. One of the people. I'm one of everyone. So he says, وَأَهَنْتَهَا وَإِنَّمَا تُرِيدُ كَرَامَتَهَا. Even though the nature of a human being is that we want to be honored. But the honor will only come through us, he's saying, by disgracing yourself. وَوَضَعْتَهَا وَإِنَّمَا تُرِيدُ تَشْرِيفَهَا. You humbled yourself. You always were humble, but even though your nature, your nafs wanted to be uplifted. SubhanAllah, he says, وَأَتَعَبْتَهَا. And you tired it. You put yourself through so much fatigue. And you tired yourself even though you wanted comfort. Even though your nafs pulls towards comfort, you kept putting it through difficulty. Kept putting it through difficulty. You know this Urdu poem? Zindagi pur kaif rahi, garche dil pur gham raha. Zindagi pur kaif rahi, garche dil pur gham raha. ये गम का फेज है कि गम में भी बेगम रहा. ये गम का फेज है कि गम में भी बेगम रहा. He said, Zindagi pur kaif rahi. Hakim Mufti Abdul Rahman Waheed. He said, life was fun, pur kaif. A lot of it was enjoyable, everything was good. Even though my heart was full of sorrow. Because a person who loves Allah, when they're away from Allah, they will always yearn for Allah. Like a person who loves Medina, whatever happens, your heart, even though everything is good around you, everything is bittersweet. My youngest brother, Rahmatullah, passed away. Now every single time he was 22 years old, he passed away. Now, and after he passed away, we had one nephew, one niece in the family. After he passed away, my brother graduated from med school, got accepted into residence in orthopedic surgery. We had so many celebrations in our life. Somehow, some way, every moment of celebration, before we could cry tears of joy, there were tears of sorrow. Because we wished he was there with us. So it was always bittersweet. And I think this is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, that actually the true sweetness is only going to be in akhirah. Everything else before that is going to be bittersweet. And وَغِبْتَ عَنِ النَّاسِ كَيْ لَا تُذْكَرَ. You stayed away from people so no one could remember you, no one could talk about you. Now today you have left us and have gone to akhirah. He says, at the end of this, he says, فَلَوْ رَأَيْتَ كَثْرَةُ تَبْعِكَ لَعَرَفْتَ أَنَّ رَبَّكَ قَدْ أَكْرَمَكَ. He says, if you were to see today the people who are talking about you, who are writing about you, who are coming for your janazah and making dua for you, you would know that your Lord has honored you. Your Lord has honored you. That's why, brothers and sisters, life is not always about fulfilling our dreams and checking boxes. The more we leave on the table, the more Allah will put on the table for us in Jannah. That's how it works. We don't have to fulfill all of our dreams here. So about this, he was a medical doctor, left so much, sacrificed so much to establish institutions and deen in this country, and you can see the results right in front of you. I'll conclude with my father. He wrote a small email to me. I'll read it to all of you, and because he knew him more than I did. And whenever I met him, he would always ask about my father. So he says this: Hazrat Dr. Muhammad Ismail has passed into the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah bless Dr. Sahab with His sublime mercy and forgiveness and give him an abode in Jannah, close to the Jannah of Anbiya, Shuhada, Siddiqeen and Salihin, wa hasna ulaika rafiqa. Ameen. Dr. Sahib was a chosen soul which Allah sent for the noble effort of deen in this century. Though he was a medical doctor, he devoted his prime energy, his mind and his soul, his wealth and his time for the Mubarak deen of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah blessed him to reside in Medina Munawwara for a long time and be in the company of the blessed elders, especially Hazrat Shaykh Hadith, Maulana Zakaria Sahab, Nawwarallahu Marqadahu. Dr. Sahab traversed the manazil stages of suluk, recognition and closeness of Allah, in direct supervision of Hazrat Shaykh al-Hadith, and was granted ijazah khilafah due to his sublime character and nature by Hazrat Shaykh. I still remember that Hazrat Maulana Shaykh al-Hadith Sahab, few hours before passing away, asked about Dr. Sahab, where is Ismail? When Dr. Ismail Sahab came, Hazrat Shaykh inquired, where were you? And he said, I was in the clinic. Hazrat Shaykh with love and compassion said, Dr. Sahib, ye bhi koi kaam hai? Is this some work? This struck his noble heart. Then on the desire and mansha of his elders, he made hijrah, migration to North America, not for dunya, but just to spread the deen of Allah in North America, first Canada, then Buffalo. I personally remember and still feel the affection and elderly compassion, his loving nature and smile that he gave to me when I first met him in Buffalo for admission for my son Abdullah in madrasa. I presented a letter of Hazrat Maulana Talha Sahab, the son of Hazrat Shaykh al-Hadith. His zeal for deen, spreading of ilm and dhikr, and support for tabligh was evident in each and every moment of his life. He devoted all his sons for his Mubarak deen, and they're all a living memory of their illustrious father. Besides hundreds of huffaz, ulama, workers of deen, which originated and will keep coming up from his established institutes, those who trained under his sublime guidance, and in future will be trained by his noble progeny, they all will be his memorial to the Day of Judgment. On this occasion, I feel like to repeat the words of the mother of Hazrat Ji Maulana Yusuf Sahib, rahmatullah alayhi, on the demise of her son Maulana Yusuf Sahib, when she saw his body. When she saw the body come from Lahore, her son passed away in Lahore, and the body was brought to Delhi. So now the mother is seeing her own son's body for the first time. What does she say when she sees his body? He says, Yusuf, beta, soja, meethi neend soja, tu khud bhi bahut thaka, aur tune auron ko bhi bahut thakaya. Yusuf, go and enjoy, sleep a beautiful sleep. You yourself got tired to the extreme, and you also made many people get tired. He says that I'm saying the same word to Dr. Ismail Sahab. Surely these words stand true today also for Dr. Sahab. Nawwarallahu Marqadahu. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.